Hey everyone, it's Norm from Tested here at San Diego Comic-Con 2024. And I'm telling you, this is the interview and the conversation I'm most excited for from the entire show, because I'm here at, well, it's at the Toynami booth, but they're showing off products from Queen Studios and InArt. And Johnny here works for Queen Studios InArt and your new 1/12 scale line.
Yep. Which is called StoneRow.
StoneRow.
Yep.
I'm personally a 1/6 scale collector.
Yep.
I've been following the releases that you guys have put up internationally.
Yep.
And this is my first time holding an InArt figure.
Yep.
And it's gorgeous. I mean, Johnny, tell me about the making and design of this Paul Atreides 12-inch 1/6 scale figure.
So in the making, it takes a long time. This is from Dune Part 1, not Part 2. The still suit was in the second movie, but the eye color is slightly different. So that's something that we work on in the future, and we're speaking with a licensor about right now. But essentially, in art, the goal is to make the most realistic, movie-accurate figures we possibly can, but also raise the next level of realness in the head sculpt. And we've used sheep's wool for the hair. So that's layered over the top individually to make it look like natural hair as well.
I want to talk about that because in the world of collecting, there's the costume and body, and then a lot of effort, a lot of artistry and production time is put in to the head sculpt. You know, both in the sculpting and the paint apps. And here you have two versions that you're selling. One is sculpted hair, one is rooted hair. The rooted hair, it's sheep's wool, you said.
Sheep's
right?
wool, yeah.
Tell me the process of that implantation, because it's so layered.
So sheep's wool for us is actually very difficult to do properly, because we have to locate and find producers of sheep's wool, and we have to be able to match it, stretch it out, dye the hair, trim it, and then it's layered over the top individually, and then it's glued onto the head sculpt itself, and then it's layered over there. And it's a step-by-step process. And the traditional style is sculpted that most 1/6 collectors are used to. What we've done is, over the last year or so, we've been hiring teams of people to only focus on the head sculpts, because we believe that offers the next level of realism. And I think more companies are paying attention because they're also trying to raise the bar as well. So that's a really big part of how their figure looks.
And with each character, each character that you do, even though it's wool hair, it's a different process to style it for that actor's likeness, for how it was here. Because I'm noticing it comes pre-styled.
So it's supposed to come pre-styled out of the box. Sometimes with transit, it can ruffle up a little bit, but that's part of the design, right? You can change it yourself. You can add the different flow. I think it's adds that realism that sometimes 1/6 has been able to do, but the sculpt sometimes doesn't always offer the realism. So that's why we've gone that level.
And the eyes are movable?
Yeah, these will be movable. This is just the prototype right now, but sometimes the head can take off.
Yeah.
And we've got levers in the middle, so you can interchangeably move. We're working on the magnet design, so you can use a magnet on the front, so you don't have to lift the head sculpt off.
Oh, wow.
There's other companies working on that now, but we're also trying to pioneer and get ahead with that,
And then talk to me about the tailoring and the process of designing a 1/6 scale representation of that costume.
So basically, what we do is we follow the traditional method where we'll start with the concept design, and then from the concept design, we'll go to 3D sculpt. And in the 3D sculpt, we want to capture all the details as finely as possible. And then we have a separate team that only do tailoring. So they're looking at the real materials from the movie, and they try to match that as closely as possible. One thing that we're really aware of is weathering and degradation over time. So we try not to use any pleather or any non-natural fibers, because natural fibers will last longer and stand the test of time.
Well, even this costume, the still suit, is mixed media, because you have soft fabrics overlaid. There are harder plastic parts. There's pleating. I'm noticing folds over in the fabric, and something that's impressing me is I'm not seeing visible large stitching. The stitching almost is to scale. Yeah,
so that's one of the things we try to work on, is get everything down to the scale it would look. So we try to get the stitching down to how it would be in scale as well. So it's
wow, right here along the edges, or at least it's blended in. It's folded over. Right. Wow.
Yeah, so we try to make it look exactly like the movie suit, and from the prototype to production, we're going to try and follow the same design process, and we've been able to achieve it with similar collectibles. So the still suit's actually quite complex to do because of the layering, similar to the bat suit, right? So
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
what we've been working hard on.
I imagine, and like, buckles and accessories.
Yeah.
And one of the things, even like if you want to show the hands, I noticed,
Yeah.
the characters that you guys do, you go full detail on even the
I
hands.
don't know if you can see it in detail, but we try to capture like the ring details in that. We've done the Bruce Wayne before, where we've got the key also perfectly to scale. We've got all of the different things there as well. All the accessories, we try to use realistic, natural materials.
It is so gorgeous. This Chris knife here and all the accessories he would have from the Dune 1 version.
Yeah.
Right. I also noticed you guys have some new 6-scale licenses and characters on display. Can we check those out as well?
Yep, let's go check those out, yeah.
We're at a different area of the booth now where you guys have prototypes from a license that you guys just signed.
Yes.
Of course, it's for The Walking Dead. Tell me about these characters. Okay for me to pick up Daryl?
Yeah, so firstly, I must say these are still pending license or approval. Luckily, we got the approval yesterday from the team. It was very last minute. So we signed a contract a little over 2 weeks ago, and our whole team's big Walking Dead fans. It's big globally, it's a TV franchise, so we're really excited to work on these. And we're going to start with Rick, Daryl, and Negan, and then hopefully go deeper into the line. But similar to Paul Atreides and our other characters we've made before, we want to focus on the realism. There's so many like accessories that come with The Walking Dead. We've got the crossbow, Rick's got the Magnum, I'm not sure, the kind of gun. So we'll be using die cast, we can talk about later. We want to use as many authentic materials as we can and really bring the character to life.
We were talking earlier about how much effort you put into not using generic parts and hands being an example. And I mean, just look at the difference in the forearms. So these are complete, like you'd put as much paint and attention to this as you would a face sculpt.
So basically what we want to do is focus on reducing anything that makes it look too much, not like a person essentially. So we want to try and create seamless wrists and joints where we can. So the joint is actually in the elbow. So that's why it's seamless. We also we start with a full 1-to-1 scale, and then we work and scale it down so that everything
Is that how for not just the body, but for heads, everything is sculpted 1-to-1?
Yeah, and then we'll try and scale it down to try and match it. So we don't want anything out of proportion. We want to try and make everything accurate at 6 scale. And we want to get all the details in the veins in the hands.
Oh my God, yeah.
Do it under the fingernails if we can get that. Those are the things we want to capture.
Bruised knuckles.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
You guys have a lot of expertise as Queen Studios doing the 1-to-1 life size, and so it makes a lot of sense. The same artist would be starting at that point.
Yeah, so our teams are experienced with silicone, rooting hair. We're experienced in all scales, and basically the knowledge is shared amongst the different teams, and then we pass it on and try and create the most realistic collectibles we can.
Is that something, silicone for example, something you would want to experiment at the scale?
So we do have a 6-scale Hermione Granger figure, and there was some issues with the joints on the knees. So we decided that we would reissue with seamless legs made of silicone. So with the work we've been doing with Queen Studios, we're able to use the same technology, similar silicone, to allow posing, but won't degrade as easily over time as previous figures have done. So later down the line, we will have fully seamless bodies with silicone as well.
Oh, that's so cool, but still armatured, and that's quite a challenge to get all the joints moving under a seamless silicone body.
Yeah, so that's why we haven't done anything yet. We don't want to rush it. We want to take our time and make sure it's the best quality that's available.
Wow. So that's 6th scale, and there it goes. But you guys also have a line of smaller, 12th scale.
Yes, we do.
StoneRow. Can we check out those as well?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So finally, Johnny, we're checking out the StoneRow line of 1/12th scale. So 6-inch, which is it's a pretty impacted competitive space, right? So what is Queen Studios and what does StoneRow want to bring to that world?
So basically, our goal as a company is to bring realism on every level. So we know that today's 1/12 collectors, tomorrow's 1/6 collector maybe, and then maybe they graduate to statues. So we want to create a whole journey with us where you can collect realism at any price point. So that's what we're trying to work on and really bring characters to life. So this is a really, really early version. We've only had 3 weeks to work on this.
Oh, wow.
And it's still pending approval because it's a global license.
Yeah.
And we've just got the contract done. So the head sculpt we're not happy with right now. And there's some work to do on the articulation in the body. But we're confident that this is going to be as equally or if not better than our 1/6 line.
Really?
So, yeah, so we have a lot of faith in our 112 line, so we're going to work hard to make this something memorable as well, something premium for collectors.
You were saying for the 1/6 line, the artists work at 1-to-1. Is that similar for here?
It should be similar, yeah. I'd need to double check on that, but basically what we've done is we've built different teams that specialize in different things. So the guys that work in 112 specialize in 112. The guy that work in 1/6 work in 1/6. Guy working 1-to-1 working 1-to-1. And they share knowledge, but essentially it's a collaboration, and it's people that are passionate about each scale. And then we'll collaborate with other artists like Jordan from Oilers Workshop to create dioramas. And we want to collaborate more with artists so we can do more with the figure, make them, there's a lot more interactivity with 112, and that's what we're excited about.
And that's what figures are for. They're for posing, they're for staging, they're for putting in your mind's eye how you imagine the ideal version of that hero, of that character. And the environment is so important, the lighting is so important for that as a collector.
Exactly.
And obviously custom bodies here, you're really, for Bruce Lee, putting on full display the artistry that your team is having to put on all the body parts.
Yeah, and there's way more work to do. I think it looks good now, but we're really confident we're going to improve a lot. Certain angles looks exactly like him, certain angles maybe needs a little time, but we'll get there. And StoneRow is just launching now, and this will be available worldwide as well, so collectors can get their hands on these too.
Oh my goodness. I mean, it really shows the level of artistry and the high standard that you and your team put themselves up to. So what's the timeline for all the things that we've seen?
It's really difficult to answer right now because we just really recently signed a contract, and we really wanted to come to the USA, show collectors in the US what we're capable of, and show an early look of what we're developing down the pipeline, later, and what's in our pipeline right now. So Walking Dead could be Q1 next year. Bruce Lee, depending on approval times, could be later in the year. And we're also going to have a 1/6 scale Bruce Lee figure as well. We're big Bruce Lee fans, so we want to develop that character more.
That would be so cool to see. Thank you so much, Johnny. It's great to meet you, and it's great to see you at Comic-Con, because everything you see here will be available direct, at least at some point, from InArt.
At some point, yes.
To consumers in the States.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Well, have a wonderful rest of the show. Congratulations on the licenses.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
Thanks so much, guys. See you next time.
Thank you guys so much for watching that video. We have some brand new merch available at the store. A dog's age ago, I mean like 2018, 2019, this wonderful graphic designer named Brian Otterer reached out to us and sent us some stickers. He has a design firm called Dash 3 Dots, and we loved his stickers so much we wanted to sell them on the merch store. Well, he updated them with our new logo, and we've got Adam in the Martian spacesuit sticker. We've got Adam in the shuttle suit sticker. We've got Adam in the Apollo suit sticker. And my personal favorite, Adam in the alien spacesuit sticker. Get yours now, tested-store.com. Hey!